once again that the best card the Democrats have to play is to try and rig the process because their policies and worldview appeal to no free and educated people. The good news in all of this is the only people these leftists are fooling are themselves. Joining me now to expand on this discussion is Florida Congresswoman Kat Cammack. Good to see you, lady, as always. Why do Republicans think it's such a monumental ask for fundamental fairness? If Jake Tapper and Dana Bash will be representing issues through a far-left lens, don't conservatives also deserve representation on this debate stage?
Well, you know, it's funny. I don't think any of us are surprised by the terms that have been dictated in this upcoming debate this week. We all remember Donna Brazile feeding the questions to Hillary Clinton back in 2016 election. So it's no surprise that the terms are completely ridiculous going into this week. I think that's very telling, though, what you saw with Caroline Leavitt and the CNN host about her cutting off her microphone. In this upcoming debate, the ability to silence a candidate, be it Biden or Trump, they're going to use it, rest assured, because the one thing that we know about CNN and the leftist media is that they cannot handle the truth. They will do everything that they can to silence the opposition. And so by having control of the microphones, the minute that President Trump starts speaking truth to power, all of a sudden they're going to mute his mic. And we know that that's coming. But I think it says more about the confidence of President Trump going into this debate, agreeing to these terms. He basically was saying, you know what, you can throw everything you've got at us. We've been taking the heat. Bring it on. And I think that that's the attitude that a lot of Americans have right now is everyone knows that this whole thing is rigged. We know that this debate is going to be slanted. We know what the moderators are going to do and what their preferences are. Heck, I thought it was ridiculous that they cut the audience out. But the fact remains that we're going into this confident. President Trump, he doesn't need a week at Camp David to prepare, where Biden, God knows what they're doing over there right now. I think this is going to be a show up, show out, and the American people are going to absolutely see through the BS that CNN is going to be pushing.
Well, let's touch on some issues here. I wanted to get to the Democrats' war on women, the war on children, the war on the rule of law. This week, illegal aliens charged in the brutal rape and killing of a 12-year-old Texas girl appearing in court, both entered the U.S. earlier this year and were captured but quickly released by Democrats in the Biden regime. This little girl's death, like countless others in this country since the Biden regime took over, 100% preventable if only the Democrats, funded by the GOP votes, hadn't allowed rampant and uncontrolled illegal immigration for nearly 4 years into this country. How many more innocent Americans do you think, Congresswoman, must forfeit their lives before the Republican Party takes concrete action and defunds these Democrat-dominated government agencies that are clearly betraying our people and foisting literally death upon us?
No, that's a great point. And I've been saying this for weeks, for months, heck, for years. How many angel families need to happen before this administration or this Congress takes action? Listen, we passed H.R. 2 out of the House overwhelmingly, and it has gone nowhere. I think that the fact you have a president in the White House today who refuses to acknowledge the will of Congress, who refuses to uphold Supreme Court rulings, i.e. his student loan forgiveness or debt transfer, as we like to call it, he has no regard for the law. So the last thing that we have in our toolbox is the ability to withhold funds. I think that this discussion that's happening right now about funding the government through a CR coming up in July or September, it's total BS. We need to play hardball. The Dems have been playing hardball for years, and that's how we have gotten to this point. We have to say no more. Enough is enough. No more shall come through. We will do everything that we can, and I'm talking about we, the true conservatives, to stand up and push back because that little girl's death was 1,000% preventable. The Rachel Morin in Maryland, 1,800 miles away from the border, her death and rape was 100% preventable. All of these lives, all this blood is on Joe Biden's hands. And the executive order that he just signed, that he's now toting, he's secured the border, it's nonsense. I've talked to the Border Patrol agents. They have said it is making it worse. We have got to get serious about it. Fight fire with fire. No CRs, no funding.
All courtesy of the so-called party of women. Last thing, Congresswoman, I've only got 60 seconds. DHS accountability here. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, he went unscathed, right? Because the Democrats ignored the Constitution, which apparently they're allowed to do now. Now we've got Attorney General Merrick Garland has been found in contempt of Congress. Your colleague, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, set up to force a vote on Garland's arrest. This after the DOJ said they will not treat Garland in an equal manner that they treated Peter Navarro or Steve Bannon. Shouldn't Garland be cooling his heels in prison until he complies with a lawful congressional subpoena? And if this vote comes down, how will you be voting?
So I will be supporting this resolution, this privilege resolution. However, the first thing that's going to happen is there will be a motion to table. And unfortunately, this move will get tabled, which means there ultimately will not be a vote on inherent contempt. I think that we have to really go back to the drawing board and be really strategic about how we approach this. I support inherent contempt. I just wish that we would be actually getting a vote on it. That's the downside here.
Yeah, that's terrible. And I hope we know the names of the Republicans responsible for tabling that in the future. Congresswoman Cammack, lady, thank you very much. Appreciate the visit as always. Still ahead on the Chris Salcedo Show, a Texas doctor and whistleblower exposed to hospital